Tonight, I'm having friends over for a special midweek dinner. I've got some yummy steak, and I thought I'd make a quick peppercorn sauce and serve it up with lightly cooked greens and new potatoes fresh from the garden. I'm down here in the potato batch, seeing if I can steal some early potatoes. Look at that! Oh, yes! And this is called bandicooting. And what you do is, without really letting the plant know that you're stealing them, because if you pull the whole plant up, it won't make any more. But if you just take them out like this, the plant will carry on growing and producing more. Look at that. Our first potatoes. And of course, fresh mint is a classic with potatoes. I've got this lovely fresh thyme here, and I'm making a little toss with some zucchinis and beans. It's going to be so good in there. And tonight, I'm having one of those impromptu fancy dinners on the run. You know when you come home from work at 6 o'clock and you need to put a delicious meal on the table? Well, that's what I'm making tonight. So, I'll need 5 pieces of tender beef steak, some fresh beef jus, butter, oil, port, green peppercorns, and to serve, some fresh green beans and courgettes. The thing that takes longest to cook in this delicious dinner is the potatoes. So I always like to get them on first, and they're new potatoes, so I cook them with a little knob of butter, some salt, and it keeps them waxy. I always like preparing the vegetables well ahead of time, and that way, when I'm ready to cook the steak, all the work's done. Only take a few minutes. Tie the steak firmly to hold its shape, and then cut between the string the number of portions you want. Season generously with salt and pepper. You know, I always butter the meat, not the pan. And that way, the butter's concentrated around the steak and it turns this fantastic caramel brown colour. Gives it so much flavour. Brown really well for about 2 minutes. Smells so good. Then turn and cook the same on the other side. So once they're browned, you want to take them out of the pan and just put them on a plate, because we're going to make a sauce in the pan. And all those lovely pan brownings in there are going to give it so much flavour. And the sauce is such a snap. Add 2 tablespoons of peppercorns, 1/4 cup of port, 1 cup of fresh beef jus, add a tablespoon or 2 of cream, and stir it to combine. So my potatoes are nearly ready. They're ready when you can stick the knife in them without meeting any resistance. So they're probably about 4 or 5 minutes away. I can cook my green veggies. So just a wee slug of olive oil. I've got about 1/2 cup of water in there and a little bit of thyme. And now this is the trick. You pop the steak back into that gently simmering sauce. And then what happens is it just carries on cooking, but you need it to be really, really low heat so it doesn't get tough. And then all the flavour of the sauce just goes into the meat, and I tell you, it's heavenly. Now that looks like something you might get in a swanky restaurant, but you saw just how easy it was. And it only took 20 minutes. Yummy.
Fantastic. Cheers.